I want to thank you for coming today. I want to let you know that we have a feeder march that's coming down State Street later on in this hour. This is actually the opening event for the Wisconsin People's Assembly, which is beginning later today at George O'Keefe Middle School. 2 o'clock, we're going to march on Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce. More on that coming up. I can see our numbers are increasing. It's wonderful to be here with you. Please welcome Patrick.
Started. So welcome the Goers.
One day, I was coming home from voting, and I noticed some weird stuff was happening. I looked around and I realized it was something to do with Waukesha.
Democracy is being subverted right here in our own backyards. And you can choose to face up to it, or you can choose to ignore it. Those are your choices. We're running from the countries here in southern France.
This is something that's awesome, and you all are making history. This is the kind of thing that people are going to learn about in textbooks in high school. And they say, you know, when the Koch brothers and the corporate interests when their boot was on the neck of the American people, the working people of Wisconsin stood up. And then the working people of Ohio stood up. And then people in Michigan and Washington State and all over the country, everybody stood up and said, we've had enough, and we're taking our government back. And government is now going to be buying for the people instead of buying for the Koch brothers. Collins.
Secretary of State, Doug LaFollette. He has been serving the people of the state of Wisconsin as Secretary of State for nearly 30 years.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for all the efforts you and the many thousands of people who have walked around our Capitol over the last couple weeks, because they have made it possible for us to call attention to some of the issues that this program today and tomorrow here are going to focus on. Our nation is not broke. Social Security is not broke. The problem is we have a very few very rich people like the Koch brothers who do not pay their fair share of taxes, who have put this idea that we're broke out on the agenda, and with the help of Rush Limbaugh and the Fox Network and a lot of other people and the Tea Party insanity, they have convinced America and Wisconsin somehow that we're broke. The economy is now twice as large as it was 30 years ago, and yet the average worker only makes about $280 more than they made 30 years ago, adjusted for inflation. Today's working and middle class taxpayers are shelling out a bigger share of their wages in taxes than they did 30 years ago. If the rich in this country were taxed at the same rate they were 50 years ago, they would be paying $350 billion this year. There are now more people living in poverty in this country than any time in the last 50 years. I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be in office this year so I could help do what I did the last couple of weeks. Thank you all again. Keep on fighting.
Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. My country that's standing by the water, we shall not be moved.
He's with the National Farmers Union. Please welcome Tony Schultz. Thanks, everybody. My name's Tony Schultz. I'm a farm boy from Athens, Wisconsin. And I can tell you, as a farmer, we're here to protest what could be a Florida-style stolen election. And as a farmer, I consider myself to be an expert on BS. And I know that if it looks like BS and it smells like BS, well, by golly, it's probably BS. Okay. The populist movement in the late 1800s was born out of a reaction to corporate austerity, and it was a famous orator of the populist movement, Mary Ellen Lease, who said 121 years ago, she said that Wall Street owns the country. It is no longer a country of the people, by the people, for the people. It is a country of Wall Street, by Wall Street, and for Wall Street. And you can tell that this is the situation going on in the Capitol today, because that union-busting bill was not written here. It was written down the street by the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce, and this has become a state of WMC, for WMC, by WMC. I want to side with people who are working together to build and broaden power for people who have been excluded from power, so we can have honest, democratic, and meaningful control over our lives. I started with a quote from Mary Ellen Lease, and I'm going to finish with a quote. The people are at bay. Let the bloodhounds of money who have dogged us thus far beware. Solidarity!
Well, the lessons of the past were all learned with Urger's blood. The lessons of the bosses we must pay for. From the cities to the farmlands to the trenches full of mud. War has always been the boss's way, sir. The Union forever defending our rights. Down with the governor, our workers unite with our brothers and our sisters and many far off lands. There is power in the union. Money speaks for money, the devil for his own. Who'll come to speak for the skin and the bone? What a comfort to the widow, a light to the child. There is power in the union.
Just when I thought that I was lost, the dungeon shook and the chains fell off. Keep your eyes on the prize.
They ran for office literally. Then we decided, we the people, that those who run for office can also be forced to run out of office. Recall, what's the word? Recall, recall, recall. Thank you.
Garvey, everybody. So you ready to march? Are you feeling the spirit?
What democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.